Hello and welcome to the Blooming Oracle Enchanted Tea Room. Today's reading is stepping into your personal power, the message you need to hear most for this full moon in Capricorn. We're going to be working with our tea leaves here. Our beautiful Enchanted Beauty is the tea that we're using today. And towards the end of the reading, you'll be able to see how this particular tea leaf has unfolded for you and what additional messages are important for you during this full moon reading. We have our 3 cards here that you can choose between. We've got pile number 1 that is going to be our group looking into exploration and the story of your energy for exploration. We also have purity for group number 2. And lastly, group number 3, nourishment. So go ahead and take a moment to resonate on which card you are drawn to most for your full moon reading. And I'm going to go ahead and get our beautiful budding tea going for our reading as well. Now, before we even begin, we have a lot of twisting energy that is occurring. So regardless of which pile you want to actually choose today, you are likely going through some twists and turns in life, and let's see where the story of that energy is leading you. Welcome, group number 1, to the Enchanted Tea Room. We are going to be doing your Blooming Oracle reading today for the story of your energy and what is this full moon bringing in for you. Now, we're starting off here with exploration already, so those of you who have chosen this particular group, you are ready to kick things up in your life a little bit more. You have probably gone through several cycles of building, and whether you realize it or not, you've been building energetically, building with the thoughts that you've been thinking, building with the emotions you've been expressing, and coming to this full moon energy at a peak of expression, allowing for yourself to celebrate how far you've come, allowing for yourself to see through all of the nuances with all of the emotions that may have been present and bubbling up throughout the surface. Now, this particular full moon is all about stepping into your personal power, and we've got this beautiful rising of energy that has been occurring for the last couple of weeks. And if you've been feeling like you've been drawn to explore somewhere new, to travel, to go somewhere you haven't been before, to take a mini road trip, then you are being called to see what messages are there for you. Now, this wonderful thing happens when we explore and we're called to a new area or new land. It's the energy that has actually held the messages within that earth that calls that soul, that calls you there. So if you've ever noticed that you felt really at home somewhere, or you really want to travel somewhere because it feels a certain way to you, then pay attention to those feelings. Pay attention to what resonates with you on that land. And you can do an exercise while you were there of really tapping into your heart energy. So the story of your energy is coming in strong with being connected into your heart, and how you pay attention to your heart energy when you are standing on the earth, drawn to a certain area, is you close your eyes, left hand to your heart, and notice all of that feeling, that emotion that is present, anything that you can tangibly feel within your heart in that moment. It might be a quickened pace of your breath. It might be a whisper within your spirit that you know you're standing somewhere important. It might also be that you're having a little bit of that flutter happening within your heart. You're going to take that feeling and you're going to notice it, and you're going to pull it down into your soles of your feet and down through like roots into the earth where you are standing, where you are drawn to. And you're going to pull that heart energy like a pulse into Mother Earth, and then you're going to pull Mother Earth up as well, and allow yourself to connect into that pulse of the earth. This green heart chakra card that we are really coming in strong with initially, that you chose, is guiding you somewhere. So you're coming in with the energy of being guided somewhere. So how do you step into your personal power in this full moon in Capricorn? And that's the message we're going to get today. So we already have like I said, a lot of shifting energy, rolling energy, I want to say, for this particular group starting off here. So we're going to go ahead and get your energy mixed in. Yeah, you're ready to go. Okay, you are ready to go is the message I hear most for you. So what's next? Wisdom. You already know where your soul is calling you to go. So there has been something that you have probably wanted to do for maybe a short time, maybe a long time. Maybe it is something that you can't seem to find anybody else who's interested in doing this with you. Pay attention to those thoughts. You've got wisdom beneath the earth here. This is a very earth sign group. If you are an earth sign, beautiful. If you're not, this is more so calling you to ground into the wisdom of the earth. Now, your rolling energy that was felt here initially is sometimes we have really quick paced shifting energy that happens in life. One thing's over here, another's over here. We can't catch our breath here because we're now over here and we're having to do all of these different things and changing our hats maybe in the day, wearing multiple hats, different roles. That's actually the opposite of what's going on for you, group number one. You are transitioning into rolling energy, which means it's a lot smoother of a transition over the hump into a peak of energy where our full moon brings us into. So we've got a lot of connection into just getting into the earth elements and whatever that means for you to get yourself grounded. So your energy is also calling for this big quick shift wherever it is that you were being called to go to. So remember that standing on the earth, calling up and pulsing with that energy of earth. Notice what messages come in for you, because your energy is saying that you are ready for something completely different in your life. So if you were to imagine everything that you've been building, everything that you've been thinking about, everything that you've been manifesting through your dreams, through your visions that you have when you are daydreaming, through when you're driving in the car and all of a sudden you see something that's beautiful and you notice it out the window, your favorite song comes on, all of these things have been building in the background for you as a renewal. So once that renewal occurs, once you're able to shift into something that is completely different than where you are now, on the other side of that is miracles for you. Miracles are happening in your life right now. This full moon is bringing in a brand new energy for you. So if we're stepping into our personal power, if Capricorn is all about getting into this state of realizing where you are in flow with your own power, rather than noticing where power might be a struggle in other things around you, and really getting centered into that renewal of fire and that renewal of exploration, miracles are for you here. So we've got really connected energy as we go into miracles and patience. I think you've probably been waiting for something for quite some time. Remember that wanting to do something and nobody else is really interested in it besides you. What is that thing? You have had patience for so long waiting for this renewal to occur. And as you've been having patience, as you've been called to somewhere new, as you've been leaning into your wisdom internally more and more and more, this patience has led you to this miracle that's about to occur in your life. So personal power for you is incredibly magnetic. When you step into that really heart-centered, that connected to the earth, that pulse of that grounded action that you're really good at taking, whether you realize it or not, when you follow that flow of how you operate, when you don't need anybody else to say yes to what you're doing, it's all about you, then you are moving into this state of miracles in your life. And it hasn't been a coincidence that it has taken you some time to get to wherever this is that you've been going. It has been for a reason. There has been lessons along this journey for you. There has been moving energy that has needed to shift in order for you to step into this new era of something that's really wonderful for you on the other side of this full moon. So our full moon is all about noticing where is it, again, to celebrate how far you've come. Maybe you've actually been on a very long journey across a distance that's actually a physical move. Maybe you've been on a very long journey of tapping into the essence of who you truly are behind all of the doors that have been closed throughout your life. And every time you have shown up and still said, yes, I'm going to keep going, even though something has been challenging or different for me than I had expected. I'm going to do one more shuffle for you here because I think you are having an opportunity for a twist of fate. A twist of fate right at the moment. Now, this is a big twist of fate. Communication is key for you. So there's actually a particular person that comes to mind in this group number 1. And I have a feeling if they were to watch this reading that they're going to know exactly what I'm talking about here. And that message isn't to say that it's for that person. That message is to say for you. You know exactly what needs to be communicated in order for you to really move forward into miracles in your life. And you know how this beautiful whale here is giving you the opportunity to show up in life differently than you've ever done before. Imagination. These cards are so incredibly connected for you here in this initial grounding and moving to somewhere that you need to be activated. You're receiving an activation through physically going somewhere is the message that you need to hear most in this energy today so that you can move into this beautiful flow of water. And I just want to like sway in the water back and forth with you here when you get into this flow of imagination and you start communicating more with what's beneath the surface, that sonar hum, that way of communicating. That's such a beautiful song that happens with whales. This is the message for you to notice the subtleties way deep within the depths of who you are and to let that imagination flow as you're being renewed into a different stage of life here. Drastic shifts, drastic changes. It's very quick moving for you once you get into wherever this place is that you are meant to go to, wherever you are being magnetically pulled into. So I'm going to move next to the Moon Logic deck here. And this is my beautiful deck that is available at the Moon Logic shop. And it is meant to really connect to the different phases that we are going through and how each and every moon phase is connected to a navigation of life and how we roll through these phases without realizing it. And when we can really start to understand the energies of each phase, we can start to foretell what's going to happen for us, and we can start to get really in tune with what's going on inside and outside and how we create our external experience that we truly have. So we're going to start from the middle here because you've already come quite far on a journey here. And the message you need to hear most with getting into imagination and how to step into your personal power today is, we've got a regeneration. Look at this. We've got renewal, regeneration that's going on. Activation I talked about with this renewal card here for you. So you are activating a big shift in your life. We've got card number 5. This is all about change happening for you on a deep, deep level. This is internal change. This is really connected into this new way of being, that deep sonar that I talked about. So noticing when you get here, here feels like a very specific place. What comes to mind for you? This doesn't have to be a very long distance travel for you. This could be somewhere as simple as a different room in your house. This could be somewhere as simple as stepping onto your balcony, going into your backyard. This could be somewhere across the world. Notice where you are drawn to because you have ancestral lineage that is connected to these lands, to this place, to this center of wisdom for you. And when that regeneration starts to happen, you're going to activate into something completely different. And not to be worried about change. And this is a signal for you to notice that as change has maybe been trying to happen for you for a very long time, you've been patient. And that patience is now catching up with you for the better. So what are we meant to know? For group number 1, after this change occurs. This is one of my favorite cards in the deck. It's actually the very first one that I channeled. It has a very specific message that is connected into my ancestral lineage, and it represents all of these different parts of who this person is here. This is you in the center, and all of the different parts that are around her. And it doesn't matter if you connect into the feminine or the masculine side of what's going on here for this card. It's not about gender. It's about the essence of the emotion that has been connected really deep within the heart here, but stifled, but stuck. And it's because all of those different parts of who this being is were being rejected, and rejected for different reasons. Rejected because they didn't want to be like somebody else. They didn't want to be parts that they had interpreted or perceived as not being good. And all of these parts that are around this beautiful girl here in this image are coming together, that are being activated in a new way, that are being integrated. So once you move, we've got so much activation energy that's going on within your story here in this full moon that there's no way for you to not move into this next new story. There's nothing that's getting in the way of this integration happening for you. You've been patient for enough time, and it is now time to move into all parts of who you are. The things that you didn't think you were good enough for, the ideas that you didn't think you had enough time for, the things that you looked at other people doing and really wanted to be able to express in your own way. It is time for you to now be able to open those areas up for yourself, to capture all of these gifts around you. And this is really stable energy, connected into home, connected into where you lay your roots. So we're going to do one more card here for confirmation or clarification on just the messages that are coming through for group number 1 here. Yeah, we've got big change happening here. So full moon card ending off your particular message here is really significant in this full moon energy, because the extinction cards are meant to give you an opportunity to end once and for all something that needs to end, something that you may have had experience going back and forth on, or why is this happening again, or why can't I stop doing this? Why doesn't this type of person stop coming in my life? Why can't I seem to make the progress that I really am trying so hard to make? This card signifies for you that in this full moon energy, stepping into your personal power is about doing the thing that you don't need anybody else to give you permission to do. This is about saying yes to all of the parts of you that you have been rejecting. Whether you know it consciously or subconsciously, there are parts of you, there is more to you that is ready to activate. And this death card is not a literal death to occur in the physical sense. This is a death to the things that are getting in the way of your personal power. This is an end to a cycle that has been a back and forth sequence for you in some fashion that is no more. And there is beauty on the other side of this. The palace in the sky, the twinkles all around you get to light up in a whole new different way. And it is the opportunity for you to see everything that you haven't seen before, because all of this has been waiting and coming to a head in order to really activate you to who you truly are underneath the surface. So thank you, group 1, for tuning in today. Stay with me to the end here. We're going to do the Blooming Oracle tea reading for you as well, to get some additional messages and insights for your full moon. Welcome, group number 2, to the Blooming Oracle Enchanted Tea Room. This is your card here. We've got purity. We've got softness coming in for you. We also have abundance coming in for you right off the hop. Now, purity is something that you may associate with different meanings. So notice what internally is coming up for you immediately when I say the word purity. What does it mean to you to be pure? What does it mean to you to have purity in your life? What does it mean to you to want to have purity in your life? And do you? So as we continue with our beautiful blooming bud here of tea that is unfolding across the journey here, we are going to continue with the messages that you need to hear most in this full moon energy, in this Capricorn energy, and how are you stepping into your personal power in this full moon. Now we are at a peak of expression, and every full moon phase is all about the duality that occurs. And you could be on one side or another, of one side feeling like, I have been putting so much energy into everything that I've been doing. I have been working away. I have been planting the seeds. I have been showing up in my life and my relationship, maybe your business, maybe your work, and you are starting to notice all of everything starting to grow. And it is time for you to celebrate. It's time for you to notice all of the growth that has happened, and for you to be really excited about how you did that. And for you to celebrate that this isn't about somebody handing you something. This is about you actually being able to create what you want, and to notice that you are creating what you want as you go. Now we also have the other side of that, and you could be feeling like, I don't understand why everything is so overwhelming. Why is nothing working for me? Why do I have such this heavy emotion that I'm feeling? Why do I have all of this frustration coming to the surface? And it's the duality of the peak of expression, the fullness that rises within us in the full moon phase. And these are the indications of the things that you're going to release and surrender and to let go of in this energy, and to cleanse away, and to allow things to come up to the surface for meaning and for purpose and for lessons, and to notice what it is that you're meant to walk away from. So depending on which side you are sitting on in this particular energy, purity for you sits in the middle. And this is an opportunity for you to be able to either clear the slate and to move past anything that has been holding you back, or also with this sense of purity is to notice how much there has been growth happening, and it has been pure, and it has been good, and you have been protected as you have been growing everything that you have been intending. So noticing that your energy is really coming in with this strong sense of this ability to create. And now, depending again on which side you are on, what have you created in your life? What have you contributed to that has allowed for you to either see all those roots and that beautiful bloom growing and having that harvest occurring? Or where have you been contributing to not being ready to stop doing certain things, or not being able to see where something isn't working, or not being willing to let go of something because of that more stubborn energy? So notice for you which side you're in as we begin this, and allow for yourself to resonate with and take what resonates with you, and to also leave the rest for somebody else that might be tuning in if it doesn't feel like it is for you at this particular point in time. This is a collective reading, so we do have a lot of energies present. Lot of energies present. It's really interesting when, while channeling, something completely takes over my language. Words get changed over into something that has nothing to do with what I'm saying, and it just comes through really strong. So what does the word president mean for you? Why is president coming through? What does the sense of power connected to president and purity and growth and duality, what does all of that mean for you? So that might be a very particular specific message for someone in particular, but I was like, my language literally was taken over in that moment. Okay. So the story of your energy, group number 2. What's going on for you in this full moon energy? What is the message you need to hear most? And how are you stepping into your personal power? We're coming in with imagination. This is interesting because you may have been called into card number 1 as well. Card number 1, this is the card that was coming through towards the end of group number 1's reading. So there's a big connection here to being able to step through this era of, maybe you might be feeling, if you're drawn to listen to group number 1 as well, then go ahead and do that, because this may be a jumping off point to where that story has been ending. Maybe that is a glimpse into your past, and we are now into the present, because you are now kicking off this era of life in this imagination stage. And now we've got, again, abundance. Okay, so I want you to really look at these cards here and the beauty that is within the tiny little number there. We've got 53 reducing to 8. We've got 8 being so connected into abundance and receiving and growing and manifesting. And then we also have your imagination card here, and 8 again, 1 and 7, 17 reducing to 8. And we have this beautiful starting off of like smoothness that is occurring. And group number 1 was not quite as congruent in the flow of how information. I have a feeling this is going to be a very flowing group. So we're going to go ahead and keep moving your energy forward from the top here and see what's coming through. Yeah, we are stepping into that Leo season here very, very soon. And we've got confidence coming through. So you've already done it. You've already been through the thing and you were there. So as you were there, what does that mean for you? Which side of, I want to really bring you into the scales of justice here and the duality that happens again with that full moon. Which side have you been on? Because this is for you to confidently say, I know. I know which side I am on. I know where I need to take action. I know where I need to release and let go. I know where I need to surrender into my vision, into my imagination, and to allow yourself to see where you have created this pure sense of a clean slate at some point by some action that you have done at the beginning of your story here. You're stepping into this full moon energy with a sense of purity, with a clean slate. And allowing for whichever side, it's been big. It's been big whether or not you have been in a state of this expression or this state of celebration, or whether it has been heavy, and allowing for confidence to come through here so that you can truly see the magnificence in who you are. You might be a Leo, you might have Leo somewhere predominantly in your chart, and this is your season, your era, and oh my goodness, we have the Lionsgate portal happening on August 8th. We've got so much 8 energy happening here. We have so much moving into this very confident, power driven solar plexus energy here. And I would pay attention to where you are going to be on August 8th. If you get an opportunity to really sit in your sense of personal power for a moment, to really envision and to imagine where your life is going next, there's a lot of powerful energies coming through that day for you to be able to step through that portal and into abundance, because it's leading up to you. Yeah, we have this great expression of love, and not only self-love coming through here, but like partnerships of love that are really meaningful. This doesn't necessarily have to mean a romantic relationship. We express and receive love in so many different ways throughout our relationships, and this is connected into your confidence here. You can know confidently that you are about to step into an era where things really feel good, and whether or not that is you letting go of things on this side of the spectrum, or whether or not you're continuing to really allow and build that sense of power of the things that are going well for you in your life. But you're there. You're already there. It's time to make sure that you are grounding what you are bringing into this world. If you are someone that is really connected into manifesting, you're interested in it, you love it, you're all about it, then it's also time to not have things slip through your fingers. If you've ever felt like you've done something really amazing or really easy or really quick, or oh my goodness, I totally did that, I could see that coming and it felt like a manifestation coming true, notice, are there times where you felt like you didn't hang on to it? And where is it that something has essentially, I'm seeing slipping through your fingers? You've had it and then it's gone. It's here one moment and then it's not. And where has that occurred for you connected into the things that make you feel abundant in life? Because it's time to get into the ritual of grounding it into existence. And now the way that you do that is by continual practice of being here in the present. So when you have something really amazing that happens for you that you have created, we've got the manifester pile here. Manifesting generators are definitely in this group number 2 today. And those of you who are creating from your solar plexus, from your sense of power, this is your call to ground your vision by making sure that you're doing follow through. So we've got this really cool thing that happens. We live here on Earth and it is our 3D experience that it is very tangible and logical, and also can be very dense for those that are the manifestors and the manifesting generators of the world, and those who are really good at cultivating energy and creating results. what can happen is that density can hit after that initial beauty of expression and that excitement that occurs when something is really going really well, and that jittery feeling that's just beauty. And when that happens, all of a sudden, what can go on is the energy shifts so quickly because you're used to moving really quickly and creating and doing. And as that energy shifts, we don't realize, but it goes out the window as well. All of the beauty of what we just created. So it's about grounding into the present by doing tangible things that cut through the density of living here on earth. So you're tapping very much so into 5D, 6D, and cultivating this powerful sense of presence to who you are, and then not staying in it. So figuring out ways to stay in your personal sense of power when you have manifested beautiful things in your life is by doing the small, consistent action steps as well. So doing the big, beautiful imagination, stepping into the confidence, loving what you've created, and then the key is doing it again. The interesting thing about habits for some people is that it can start to get boring. Even if it's something that you absolutely love doing. We always hear the saying, too much of a good thing is not a good thing, and everything in moderation. Well, it comes from the density model that we live through in this particular dimension here on earth, that when you're really in the sense of creator mode and you're tuned in into your inner system that is wanting to live in beauty and flow and shifting and creating, it can actually become a little bit difficult to hang on to and to keep those results, to keep them grounded, because we move on to the next thing. So keeping what you have comes into consistency. And consistency is a big message here coming through with group number 2 in having this clean slate and showing that you've got this really cool sense of power. You've got this beautiful, big, bright aura that comes through with group number 2 here. It needs to be grounded because your energy is wonderful and needed in the world at this time. You're here for a reason. You're here to ground the energies that you are bringing in with this beautiful energy, and allowing for yourself to do that through consistent, little, repetitive actions as you go. So notice where you've had big results. Notice where you've had that explosion of energy where you feel incredible. And then notice where there's little things that if it tended to dwindle and you didn't have that result stay with you for long enough that you wanted it to, where did you stop doing things? Little things, like really little things. It's this huge conversation maybe that you have with somebody that you were magnetic in, and you created an opportunity and you said yes and you had a beautiful result, and then 3 weeks later it's kind of flatlining and it doesn't feel the way it did initially in that yes. Where did something become small and forgotten that you need to get back into the consistency, because that's going to bring you a lot more abundance and tangible results in the particular energy that we live in. Again, here on earth, you would be really good at creating and keeping and loving in a different dimension, and you already are, but we want to also keep it here where you are spending your tangible experience. Yeah, you're a big magic group here. So group number 2, you are all about the magic. You are all about bringing in awakening energies for those around you through beauty. And it is time for you to ground your magic into this existence, into Mother Earth at this particular time. Other people need what you have. Don't just keep it stored inside. Other people really truly need what you have at this time. So get curious. This is a very different energy coming in with this. This is the essence of who you are at the core. These 2 cards here are what you show up to other people. This is how you look on the external. This is your internal. You're coming into this world with a really pure state. You've got high imagination. You're really great at envisioning and manifesting from your core. You show it as expression, as powerful to other people. Whether you feel like you do this or not, people really love your energy and they probably want to consume it and take it and be around you. And that can also be a little bit draining, which could be part of why that shift comes in. And it's like, oh, why did everything slip through my fingers? Because there's other energies that may have been connected into that. So don't give away too much of your magic. Allow it to ground and, express, and keep some of it for yourself as well, is a really strong message for you here. So get curious in how you can start unfolding magic in new ways in your life. You've already got certain steps really down pat here, and this is about learning new ways of bringing in abundance for you. This is about opening up your definitions of how you do life, and this is about opening up new ways, new streams of wealth for you. Now, streams of wealth can mean many different things. Like we think about finances, right? When money, tangible things that let us receive stuff that we want in a physical sense here, but abundance and wealth is so much more. And streams are just avenues of flow where we maybe can flow one way and feel really joyful in that thing, and then we can flow another way and we can pick up some creativity that feels beautiful in another area. So get curious about ways that you can pull in more abundance in your life that's not necessarily the traditional sense of what you thought abundance meant. One more card here for you, foundation. So this one here I'm going to bring over to our beginning, because you have actually been part of our foundation here on earth. You are old souls that chose to come in at this time for a reason, to really guide us on how it can truly be, how life can be magnetic, how you can have experiences that light you up, that feel amazing, that you love, that are building confidence, that come from the core of your being, and how we are now grounding in. You are here for such a beautiful reason, and part of the foundation for Earth that is evolving at this time. So I'm going to shift now into the Moon Logic deck here. This is my deck that I had created for really getting in tune with navigating the cycles we go through. And yeah, first of all, can we acknowledge how this card has, with really special importance, stood up here for you? Like, pay attention to me is what this card said right now. This is your rite of passage. So the rite of passage card is when this, like, I can't even tell you the amount of downloads that are coming through right now. So when we think about a pendulum swinging one way or another, and it's one extreme to another, we talked about this in the very beginning of the full moon phase. Which side are you on? Is it this side that's releasing and letting go? Is it this side that's creating and building more, and you're at a state of high expression of celebration? Because the rite of passage acknowledges the swing that has occurred. So maybe you felt like, I can't choose because I've been on both of that. And one day it's here and one day it's here. And you're noticing really big energies going in because, like I said, people really love your energy. Other people are consuming what you are putting out there, and you may or may not realize that. So you might feel like you're connected into somebody else's stuff that's going on, and then you're over here connected into somebody else's stuff that's going on. So it's important for you to realize that at this point in time, it's time for you to meet in the middle. It's time for you to let the swing stop going from left to right, to back and forth, from one extreme to the next, and to meet in the middle of who you are, and to allow for this contemplation of self to occur. So shadows of the mind are when we have this thought that this is highly connected into perception. Perception has come up so many times for group number 2 here, and how you perceive things. What are your thoughts? What do you think of what purity means? Right? And allowing for shadows of the mind, you're doing some shadow work here in the background. You're clearing through and moving and navigating and contemplating, getting curious about what is next for you, because you're already foundationally supportive of this whole earth complex that has been going on. And you're now coming in with this sense of magic that you are ready to find how you're going to walk into these next few stages of life in your personal sense of power, by moving through what you thought was true, by allowing a new sense of the words that maybe you use all the time, and realizing, why do I say that? right? Like, why did that just come out of my mouth? Why is it that I always tend to, and then fill in the blank? Because you're going to start to have a shift in perspective of about who you think you are, how you interact with others, and keeping a little bit more of your energy sacred for you as you move into this more flowed, centered state of being. And you've gone through your rite of passage. You've been here from the beginning to do big and beautiful, wonderful things. You've been to the extreme of things really working and not working. And it is now time for you to walk straight in that path without having things being diverted so much to the left and to the right. And I think this is a really strong message for you today to know, as it really came out quite poignantly. And you might want to hang around to listen to the blooming message at the end here with our tea leaves, because it decided to really stand up on this cup for you, on our teacup. So I'm going to do one more card for you here, just as clarity, confirmation, anything else that is important for group number 2 to hear. Yeah. Like, what is with the huge amount of energies that come through towards on the last card with the piles? It's like there's so much more. All I'm hearing is there is so much more for you, and like so much more, so much choice, right? So this one here is what's calling most. Wow. Okay. I said it before. Connected to group number 1. If you're feeling that call, go out and check the pile that was before us here, because the death card came up in a significant way as well. And this is the full moon. We're ending the reading for you on a full moon card, which is so wildly important with the energies here, and noticing where it is time. The extinction cards are something ending for once and for all. There is something that you've gone back and forth on. You've had this shadows of the mind where you've thought about doing something, and then it has been connected into somebody else's energy, and you're wading through the times and really now getting centered on who you are. But there's something here that is ending for you in a really wonderful way, ending for you in the sense that maybe your energy is not going to get depleted anymore by others, that you're going to be able to hold on to more of your magic, that you can ground those energies for others to experience without having to lose parts of you as well. And you're headed into something that is wonderful on the other side of this here, and allowing for the full moon of expression for you to be. How can you get curious on who you are without everybody else's energy influencing how you show up? Who could you be when you walk your path just for you? And noticing how your perception is changing around maybe the language that you use, maybe the way that you express yourself, and noticing how that might have been from somebody else. That might have been words that you've experienced hearing in childhood that you've now picked up and had become yours along the way, that you're noticing that is not me. Those are not the words that I use. That is not the way that I think. That's not who I am. And allowing for that to be a closeout in your life and to step into something new. So thank you, group number 2, for being here today, and wishing you a beautiful full moon journey ahead. Welcome, group number 3, to the Blooming Oracle Enchanted Tea Room for your full moon reading in this wonderful Capricorn energy that we have, having you step into your personal power. This is all about nourishment. This is all about tuning into self. This is about going inward for you. And this is about learning where it is that you have had multiple versions of self. Multiple versions of self is the very first thing that I heard when I picked up this card. And maybe you've been nourishing a part of you, a version of you that is ready to no longer be. Let's see how this is going to unfold for you as we move into your full moon reading for the energy that you're bringing in first off, and getting a glimpse into that story for you and how it is that you've been showing up at this particular turn in life, and also what is the easiest way, the most congruent way for you to step into your personal power in this full moon energy. So your nourishment is, I want you to actually, I'm going to do this a little different for a moment here because I just had a very big pause. I was about to say something that I was directly told, pause for a moment here, and I want you to infuse your energy into these cards here. I want you to notice where it is that you are drawn to. I want you to notice that there are so many possibilities for who you could be in life. All of these cards represent the story of your energy. Whichever ones that you are going to connect into today are meant for you. If something resonates for you, take it along with you. If something doesn't, leave it for somebody else. We've got a collective reading going on today, so there's a lot of energies that are happening, but the pause is important. We're not going to move through this phase with speed. You're meant to slow the messages coming through, and you're meant to really connect deeply. So take a few deep breaths as we go ahead and get the first cards for the energy that you're coming in with in this full moon. Well, first off, you've got some loved ones that are around that are really bringing in a sense of peace for you. So if you have lost a loved one recently, I'm so very sorry. And noticing that there's this feeling of this huge blanket that comes through with this, and whoever this might be for you, or maybe these are ancestors long once gone, and just noticing that you have a lot of protection around you, you have a lot of love around you, you have a lot of this. When you think about that wonderful blanket being wrapped around your shoulders, that sense of comfort, that sense of someone's looking out for me, that is all around you at this time. And it's time to slow right down and let yourself be cared for, that you are loved, that your sense of power comes in when you notice how much you are already loved. And your energy is really, really calling for this slow down. Your strength is in the ability to see things that other people don't see. And noticing that we've got this bird energy, that we'll call it here, happening, and very different color combination that's going on. Your life has probably moved through many different seasons of change. Maybe you know that you've needed to slow down for some time and it feels like it's completely impossible to do that. And maybe you've known that there has been some grief or some sadness or some feelings that have been bubbling up to the surface for quite some time, maybe connected to things from so very long ago that hasn't had their chance or their ability to integrate and for you to truly heal and move into a different emotion. But this is telling you that your strength has lied in your ability to see that what other people don't see. And what other people don't see is everything that you have been carrying. And what other people don't see is how, when you look forward in life, you can notice how something is probably going to pan out. And you already start to implement, okay, this will do this, and I can see how that's going to happen, and this is going to go over there, and that person's going to do that, and I can't rely on this, I'll have to do this myself. And you've got a lot of mental energy, group number 3, that comes through here with feeling like you have to carry everything yourself. But you've got so many loved ones that are physically present with you, that are also just around you in the spirit realm, that are saying you are not alone. You do not have to carry everything alone. You can slow down, you can process and feel your emotions and let them move through you, and that your sense of personal power is being achieved through slowing right down. And what your energy is also telling us here is that there's forgiveness that is connected into this slowing down. The nourishment that your soul is really calling for is for you to look at the areas where you need to forgive yourself for something that you didn't even realize you were still carrying. And when we start to carry these thoughts that we think about ourselves, why did I do that? I wish I would have made that decision, or, I can see how things turned out, and you're very mentally able to move into intellectual areas where you're resolving how you think about life. But this is more about getting into the feeling. What do you need to resolve about yourself in order to know how incredibly loved and cherished you are? Because the energy of forgiveness here is saying it is time to stop changing for others. It's time to stop showing up only for others. It's time to start showing up for yourself and to forgive the parts of you that needed to be let go of and needed to, you know, the times when you show up as something that you needed to in that moment because you were surviving that time, because you showed up as that version of you, because that is the version that needed to be there in order to move through that era of life. This is that changing energy. This is that chameleon that said, well, I was like this and now I'm like this. And the reason I was like that was because of this right here. And it's congregating all of those really quick mental shifting energies into one and allowing for them to become a solid version of you instead of bits and pieces that are floating around, just floating around. So much shifting, changing energy that this card is bringing in here. So we've got celebration that is happening for you on a deep level. It may feel like you're beginning a nervous system reset in many ways with this occurring under the surface. There's so much jewel tone to your energy, and this is all about adoration of self. This is all about getting into the love of who you are and appreciating and acknowledging how much you bring into this world and how much you bring to the table, and acknowledging who you are. Maybe you've noticed that you've constantly been in the position of not getting acknowledged for what it is that you truly bring and how much of a compassion that you bring to probably your work and your relationships that you have with others. This is about turning that inward to you now and noticing where it's not actually about what somebody else is doing or not doing or what they're experiencing as you in their relationship together. It is more about you seeing your own reflection of deep inner parts that are looking to really be loved and looking to have healing that is going on. And we've got trust. So trust that you are on the right path here. Trust that if you slow down, you will not lose anything. Trust that whoever is meant for you in your life will absolutely be there for you, and that there is something that you are hoping for and wishing for in your life to come together. And when it does, trust that life isn't going to change so much that you're not going to be you anymore. Life is going to continue to unfold and to allow you to see who you are, that beautiful, strong person that is able to carry things, but also that needs to be able to have time to not have to carry the weight of also what your mental thoughts are. So highly intellectual group here. That is group number 3, really good at probably thinking your way through things, but thinking doesn't necessarily process an emotion. And it's important for you to move through emotions that may have been present, that have been stifled along the way. So we've got intention here. You get the opportunity to decide, to intend what is next for you in your life. Your sense of power is a really soft power that wants to be unfolded very slowly. You think of a bud that is blooming and how each one of those petals, they unfold so beautifully until it is this wonderfully powerful, fragrant, just beautiful thing that you're looking at. This is allowing for you to have the intention of what are you going to unfold next in your life. Your strength has gotten you here, but you need to trust that there's no more to do. You just need to decide and allow for things. So this is our allowing and surrendering pile, the ones that are ready for the reset, the re-nourishment at a soul level. So this is connected into pile number 2 as well. We've got a lot of connected energies here that tend to go on between the groups, and loving yourself, allowing for who you see yourself to be as that version of you that you decided you were. It wasn't because you had to work through struggle and you showed up and you were all these different versions of you, and everybody else had everything that they had to put on your shoulders in order for them to survive, and you showed up and you got it done. This is you being able to let all of that go, decide who you are, and loving that version of you. Opportunity, right? We've got the opportunity for you to see yourself in a whole new way here. And as we shift into this full moon energy, it is the height of expression. It is allowing for everything to come to the surface that has needed to, in order to allow for the recalibration that occurs after that. So after our full moon phase here, and you're stepping into your power and you're slowing down to allow for surrender to occur, we get a calibration phase, which is our third quarter moon. And that calibration is where we make adjustments and where we look at, okay, what's working and what's not working, and how am I going to decide that I'm going to move away from the things that are really not serving me, and then also where am I going to decide that these things feel really good and safe and wonderful, and I'm going to decide to do more of that in my life. So that's what's next for you after this, is when you slow down, you're going to get the opportunity to recalibrate and to decide what it is that you truly want in your life. And it's going to come through with a lot of clarity. This is not going to be a struggle quest to connect to what it is that's really good for you. This is going to naturally come through very easily for you. So I'm going to do one more card here. Sensuality. This is about really embodying who you are. And I'm just having this incredible sense. Fragrance just comes through so strongly with group number 3 here. And that's because it's about getting into the essence of the senses that we don't necessarily use unless it's for a tangible reason. So think about when you're going through your day and you smell something and it signals something in the brain for you to think about, something to do that smells good. It's time to eat. You know, something is burning on the stove. I need to go and attend to that very quickly. We have our sense of smell does so many incredible different things, but it is also really connected into your emotions. So it can also be something that can be triggering from elements of the past when you have noticed that a scent is connected into an experience that you had. And it can really invoke emotion as well. And we've got our highly emotional group here with group number 3, not in the sense of that you are an emotional person, but it is time to get more in touch with those emotions, because you're really good at moving through the mental attributes, the intellectual processing of events, but allowing your senses, your sensuality as well, to really unfold and to embody who it is that you are. Now we've got our beautiful blooming bud here that is coming to life, that we're going to do our tea leaf reading at the end here too, that you can stay tuned for some additional messages. And we're going to do next the Moon Logic deck to see any last messages of what do you need to hear most. This is the Moon Logic deck that I had created to discover ways to navigate all of the different phases of life. And we are so connected into the moon being a representation of our subconscious and all of the things that are underneath the surface that we connect to, as we are so much made of water, and the moon really influences our flow of water, our seasons, our high tides here on earth. And where is it that it is high tide in your life, and all of those emotions like water are coming to the surface for you. So the message you need to hear most with these emotions that you're moving through is you're exploring a new sense of self. You're awakening to something new in your life. And we've got card number 7 here, which is connected into this individual leadership mentality. And this is being able to see at a higher perspective for others that are around you. This is being able to tap into your heart space, but also to allow it to touch so many other people's lives. So you've done amazing things here in your life journey. And it has been so much that you've had to also carry. And it's time to let go of all of those things that you've had to bring with you along this journey as you have discovered who you truly are. Now, this individual really leader sense of showing up as a powerful, soft leader at the same time is the essence of this card. It's being able to expand out into the world as an individual to make change for others without having to do it through force. This is through a magnetic influence of being who you are at the core, and that intricacy is woven out through the paths of others that you have come across in your life and those that you have touched along your journey. So what else is important as group number 3 steps into their personal power in this full moon? Now, this is also a timeless reading, so if you happen to come across this, then the next full moon that is about to emerge at whatever season we're in is really important for you. So I'm going to go ahead and move through these 3 cards. We've got powerful sense of 3 that came through with our starting card here too, and we're ending with 3 cards. So you are coming to a completion of something in your life that has allowed for you to really function and have the ability to move through, but it is now time to explore who you truly are. This is an action step for you to actually do. So we've got whispers of the heart, ear to the sky, actually sitting out in this full moon energy and navigating where it is that you're going to go to next by getting super quiet, by tilting your head just ever so slightly up to the stars, up to that moon, and listening to your heart, listening to the gentle whispers that happen when we are at our quietest moments, and allowing for your power to be in the softer sense of who you are. We've got activation coming through here in a very congruent sense. Congruent meaning it's lasting and it's connected, it's aligned. And this activation for you is something that is probably connected into how you show up for others, all the different sides of who you are. And instead of being active for them, it's an activation internally. For you to know who you are is not for anybody else. And I'm really drawn to your smoke and mirrors card here as your last card to let you know that there has also been things that you have been navigating in the background that have probably felt frustrating, that you've wanted to let go of, but you haven't been able to, even though you have tried. There has been some timing at play here with, if I turn here, then why isn't it actually going left? I'm going right, even though I'm turning the wheel to the left. There has been this like fun house of mirrors type of energy that has surrounded some of your decisions, and it's not to have confused you or to be frustrating or to have held you back in some way. It's because there's been divine timing at play, and miracles are about to open up. And we've got our 3rd quarter moon, our contemplation, our recalibration that I talked about that's going to be happening for you in this next phase, but it's allowing for everything that has been in your life leading you up to this moment that you've had to carry, to acknowledge that it is okay to put all of that down. It is okay that it has felt like sometimes standing still has been very hard to do. You've been trying to work your way through a maze, but at this point, clarity is coming through with unexpected miracles just around the corner for you. And you're going to have a recalibration of who you are and to get more grounded in your next stage of life. But it starts with this nourishment. It starts with slowing down, and it starts with being reminded of how much you are truly loved and how much your past loved ones and your ancestors are always with you, guiding you forward. Thank you, group number 3, for being here, and hang around for the tea leaf reading. All right, we have your beautiful blooming bud here that is ready for our tea leaf reading. We're going to infuse any of the messages that you need to hear most here as we go ahead and look into and gaze into your teacup here, and just notice if there's anything that stands out for you. This is your opportunity to also connect into the messages that your internal guidance system, your soul knows for you to be true already. Oftentimes when you come to a reading, the messages that you receive are the ones that you're just receiving confirmation of already knowing. So take what resonates, leave the rest, and let's go ahead and see what's important for you to know at this point in time. So taking a moment to gaze and to notice what might be present for you, taking a deep breath, grounding your energy. And what I'm seeing in this blooming bud is all of the times that you have tried, started, and stopped, that you've been able to make progress, but then it has been ripped away. There has been some significant carnage, I want to say, in this particular tumultuous waters. There has been some things that have been really difficult to digest in life, for elements of things that you were trying to do that could have turned out in a completely different way. And as those things are now starting to take shape in new ways, it's not about saying in the past something was done wrong or something could have been done any different. It's that there has been so many karmic lessons that have been connected to the times when things didn't go, I'm going to say, properly. Maybe that's been a word that you've used yourself, that this wasn't proper. Why didn't this turn out proper? It turned out exactly as it was meant to be in order to move you into this next version of self, that you are about to float up to the top and expand past what you always knew to maybe be happening. You're about to, there's so much of this density. We talked about density in one of the piles as well here, that the density of earth can be something that can be hard to sit in sometimes. And you're floating up past the density of experiences that have happened in the past, and you're getting an opportunity for a fresh start. So if you resonate with there being times in life where it has just felt chaotic, or that you have had parts of you ripped open, it is about to change for you. That healing is coming through, and that you are rising above. And it is time to allow yourself to rise in new ways, and to let go of the times when you thought that it wouldn't be possible for things to be any different. Thank you so much for joining me here in the Enchanted Tea Room. This is the Blooming Oracle with your full moon reading.